Boy, there sure is a delay in the computer.
At Texas Health, we deliver more babies than any other.
Turn the sound off. I knew I was forgetting something. Get down here where I can see my chat. Oh, we got Dennis in the house. How's Dennis today? Have you tried that cowboy candy yet? Yeah, I remembered. I just remembered this morning, though. I happened to look at the clock on the wall and it's battery operated. And I said, that clock is not right. And then it dawned on me, you didn't change the clock last night. But my computer, my phone, and everything else was right on. Be interesting to see how many more people I get in here today, because a lot of people may have forgot to change their clock. They may have come in early and there was no one there and left. Who knows? But after I did my video yesterday, after my live, I did my salmon patty video, I went to bed. And I fell asleep. I woke up at 10 o'clock. I got up, gave the cat some food. Oh, okay. Well, it's hot, so I don't want them to burn their mouths. Warn them before they put it in their mouth. I mean, it's not candy, but that's what they call it, because it is sweet, but it's hot. And there's Krista and Diane. Hello, Diana. Well, I went to bed after my live yesterday. I mean, I was so tired because I didn't sleep night before last. And I went ahead and did my salmon patty video, and I ate a bite, and then I went to bed. I fell asleep, and I woke up, and it was dark. And I said, I wonder what time it was. So I looked over there at my phone. I had it up on the nightstand, and it was 10 p.m. So I got up, gave the cat something else to eat, watched a video or two, and messed around till about 12:30 p.m. or a.m., and then I went to bed again. So at least I got a decent night's sleep. Oh, well, I was called Lynn half of my life, so. My uncle, I have one uncle that always called me Sis. It was Sis or Lynn. He never said Linda. He said Lynn or Sis, something like that. Or he called my mom Sis for sure. Yeah, and it wears you out, Diana, doesn't it? When you can't sleep and you're restless, you get up the next day and you're addle-brained. Well, I was yesterday. I mean, I couldn't even think straight half the time. I'm psychic. Well, it's hot and spicy, but it's good to put it on tacos, any type of Mexican food. It's good to put it in beans and flavor, spice up your beans. Anything that you would eat hot peppers with, it's good to eat with it. And like I said, it's good to chop it up and mix about a spoonful in cream cheese and make you a cream cheese cowboy candy dip. Just don't want to get it too hot. Yeah, I feel for you. Like I said, I went to bed after I finished my video last night, or it was before dark, and I fell asleep and didn't wake up to 10 p.m. and then realized it was still the same day. Got up and gave the cat some more food and tended to them a little bit. Watched a video or two, and I think I watched a movie. And then I went back to bed and slept all night. And then I woke up this morning, I looked at my phone and it was 9 o'clock. So I didn't wake up this morning until 9. We're going to sis for dinner. She's making eggplant parm. Oh, wow, that's good. Eggplant parmesan's good. You know, I did a video on that. Only I did half of it eggplant and half of it yellow squash. And it was both equally as good. No matter which end of the pan you ate from, it was good. Thank you, Krista. Oh, and I did manage to find a bulb for my refrigerator. I went out to Home Depot this morning. And I took the bulb that had burned out with me. And I couldn't find one at first. I found some similar, but none of them were the same size. And they were close, but not the same thing. So I went to the ladies' room, come back, and there was one of the employees at Home Depot down that same aisle. And I asked him, I said, would you mind helping me find a bulb like this one? It's for my refrigerator. And he looked over there, and he didn't find it at first. The slot that it was in was empty. But there was a whole tray of bulbs pushed to the back. So, you know, they used up the front ones and they never pulled the one from the back to the front. So it looked like it was all sold out. But he squatted down and he looked under there, and sure enough, there was another tray, and he pulled it forward. And he said, here it goes. This is it right here. So I bought 2 of them. Those things were $6 a piece, y'all. Expensive little bulbs. They should last a long time. There's Susie Ann. Hello, Susie Ann, and Shatika, Bendel, Parker. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, that made my day when I was able to find bulbs to fit my refrigerator. Now I have light in there. Let there be light. And I was out this morning and I took some of the little small marigold seeds that I saved from last year. And I was going around part of the garden that I've already planted stuff in. And I put like enough at one end of each raised bed that I'll have at least one plant at each end of it. Marigolds help keep bugs away from your plants, whether y'all know it or not. Marigolds, geranium, basil, a lot of the herbs will keep bugs away from your garden. And naturally, hot peppers. Oh, you got to have hot peppers spread out all throughout your garden. It helps keep ants out of your, your garden bed. My oven went out. That piece that gets hot, I'm going to try to run to Lowe's and see. You're talking about the burner, the little coil? My mom, she was burning hers out all the time, but it wasn't her oven. It was the burners at the top. So she'd have to replace those coils that got hot. And you replace the bottom one too. I'm sure they would have it. Yeah, they should have it, Diana. I'd try Lowe's first, Home Depot, and then I'd go to Lowe's, or go to Lowe's first, and if they don't have it, go to Home Depot. And there's Patty C. and Paula. Hello, ladies. I just telling everybody that I managed to find a bulb for my refrigerator. The light, I bought 2 of them. They're like $6 a piece, y'all. Expensive little bugs. Well, I started to say buggers and it come out bugs. I meant expensive bulbs. I guess everybody's doing fine. I got some good sleep last night. In fact, after my live last night or yesterday evening, I went ahead and did my video on salmon patties. I haven't posted it yet. And I went to bed. I ate a bite and then I went to bed. And I woke up, it was 10 p.m. I woke up and everything was dark, and I said, is it day or night? Is it day or morning, So I looked at my phone, it was 10 p.m. So I got up, give the cats a little bit more to eat. I watched a video and a movie, and then I went back to bed. And there's Ann. Hey, Ann and Angel. Hello, people. Welcome to my chat. Now I got to finish filling up that other raised bed. And I'm thinking about putting strawberries in it, but I won't get the strawberries till spring. It'll be a while yet before I get them. Yeah, I forgot about the time change. I got up this morning, it was 9 o'clock. But you know, your phone automatically changes. And I come in the kitchen and I looked at my wall clock, which is a battery clock, and it's not on Wi-Fi. It was still an hour behind. And I said, something's wrong. That time's not right. I first thought, oh no, my battery's going out on it again. And then I remembered, no, it's the time change. So I changed the clock. So I guess I'm set. I got to change the one in the car, though. I haven't changed it. It does not change automatically. Even though my car is computerized, you'd think the clock in it would just change, by itself, but it doesn't. And there's Amercan and Ryan. Hi from Finland. Well, hello, Finland. How's your weather in Finland? It's 55 degrees today, cloudy. It's wet because it rained through the night. And I got some bulbs to plant in my garden or out in the front rock garden. I bought a couple more lilies because that drought we had a few years ago killed about half my lilies. There's 3 lilies in this one. I think they're going to be pretty. And then I got another package of a different color. I think that's a beautiful color right there. And then I bought these things. They were growing in the bin that was housing them. That's the amaryllis. But look at that. And I tried to get some that didn't have such long shoots on because I was afraid I'd break them off and I didn't want to break them. But that's the red amaryllis. And I got the pink amaryllis. They're just one bulb, but they make a pretty good bunch when it comes up. I haven't decided where I'm going to put what yet. And then I got white ones. I think I got two bulbs of the white. Yeah, I got 2 bulbs of the white ones. And see how I tried to get the small sprouts because I didn't want to break them off. I said if I get some that had those 2-foot long sprouts on them like that, I know I'd break them off before I ever got them planted. So I tried to get ones that I wouldn't break. But I need to refill my front rock garden, and I need to do something to the one on the side over here. I don't know what. Have any more voodoo dolls? No, I don't have voodoo dolls, Wilson. When will the next name bowl thing, when will the next name bowl thing when you send winners the seeds? I don't understand that, Krista. And there's Roll with Felix. Hello, Roll with Felix. Well, if the right light hits it, it's the same color basically as the other cabinets. The fireplace wood is the same color, and the cabinet over here is basically the same color. And my cabinets overhead, over my sink and stove, and the below cabinets, they're all dark. That's the reason I did put the dark on it. But I wished I hadn't got it quite as dark, just like a shade, just a tiny shade lighter. She means a drawing. Oh, a drawing. So you want to win seeds, Krista? Yes. Where do you live, Krista? Real American ones. Where do you live? What part of the country? Finland. How's the weather there right now? Is it cold, warm? What kind of weather? Can you whistle loudly? No, I can't whistle loudly. I can't even whistle. Never have been able to whistle. All the snow's melted. Next week we get colder, and they said there will be lots of snow again. Oh my goodness. When does your springtime start? Because we've got yesterday and today that's going to be, is cool. Tonight it's going to be down to about 35, 36. But then from here on in, as far as I can tell on the forecast, it's supposed to warm up considerably during the day and night. So it shouldn't bother any of my plants coming up. I went out there and put the lids on my squash just in case it got below 35 or 34 tonight. Because, you know, sometimes they don't hit it right on the money. So I didn't want to take a chance on my squash and zucchini. So they're only up about that tall. And I planted them in totes. So I've had the lids out there that I can just put the lid right on them and cover them up, and that keeps them from freezing. If it's just going to get almost down to freezing one night, it'll keep them from freezing. Like backup winter. They say, no, we haven't given you enough snow. We're going to come back with a second round. Yeah, I've still got cowboy candy, Wilson. There should be still some on the website. Exactly. Just like me with my wind and my hailstorm. I thought that 3 or 4 days of high winds destroying everything and blowing everything out of my yard was it when it died down. But no, as soon as I got the greenhouse fixed and a few more things, you know, I got my sidewalk cleaned off. My porch was pretty and clean. That night, right after I went to bed, we had a hailstorm with high winds and rain. It blew all that stuff right back, even more, back on my patio, back on my concrete walk. Oh, it's like it never ends. And I had my leaves raked up kind of in a pile off the sidewalk. And I was going to come back through yesterday and rake them up with a rake or either the shovel and put them in the wheelbarrow and push them around there and start filling up that raised bed. Now I got to rake them all or sweep them all up again in a pile. Yeah, mine have been coming up too. I just hope they don't bloom until we don't have any more freezes, because it seems like every single year my daffodils will come up, they'll start to bloom, maybe one will open, the rest will have flower buds, and then we get that last freeze, and it kills the flower buds, it kills the flowers, and then they don't bloom again until the next year. And I go through the same thing again. And those daffodils that I've got planted out here are ones I brought from North Carolina. My dad gave them to me. He was going through digging up some of his daffodils, thinning them out, and he gave me a bag full of them, and I brought them out here. And that was many, many years ago, and that's a bunch that still survives. Texas weather's crazy, Uncle BD. It's downright crazy. But that's what I was told first week I moved out here. If you don't like this weather, just wait a minute because it'll change. It may be 80 degrees this morning and it could be 32 by 6 o'clock. Well, in my lives, if I give away seeds, I usually ask a question about a video. And then I give away seeds to whoever answers it correctly. See if I can bring up some of them. All right, in that Breakfast of Champions that I posted this morning, what did I have for breakfast? If you want to win seeds, answer the question. What did I fix for breakfast on that video? Anyone that does not like Texas can pack up their bags and get out of the state. No, I did not fix tacos on that video this morning. It's me and got it. I fixed toast, eggs, and hash browns. Oh, well, Chris, wasn't it Krista who wanted to win seeds? Maybe next time. And I've already got Ann's address. I was going to write it down so I don't forget. Well, I can't get this thing to write. I'll tell you what, Krista, send me your mailing address. Send me your mailing address and I'll send you out some seeds. Oh, she said, Ann said send them to Krista. All right, email me your address, Krista. Send it to hauserlinda49@gmail.com. It's underneath all of my videos in the description. It should have my email listed there. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Just send me your address. Mackenzie, I don't have food. Please help me with food or any job to get food. Where do you live, Mackenzie? I think that's a troll, isn't it? Who is that? DB Vakela? DB Vakela? What? Hello, whoever you are. You're new in the chat because I've never seen your name before. I hope you're not another troll. Maybe not. We'll see. Jason Bender. Yes, send your address. Jason. Well, why would you want to send anything to Donald Trump's address? Right. Thank you, Dennis. There's my fur baby. I was wondering where you were. Where did you run? Where did you run Lucky off to? I didn't see him outside. Look at my fur baby. Just got up here in my lap. You know there's not room up here for you. I have to hold you or you'll fall in the floor. He wants me to pet him. We're doing great. I got good sleep last night, and both cats slept good last night because they were inside. I put Lucky in his little pet taxi, and he just slept in there all night. And I have to put him in there because little buddy will fight with him. He's jealous of him. He doesn't want Lucky around. But you're going to have to get used to Lucky. He's going to be here. Well, this is not a kitten. He's probably 3 or 4 years old. Maybe older than that, because I don't know how old he was when he first started coming here. Lucky's only a year old. He's the kitty. He's the baby kitty. He's the little brother. And for some reason, little buddy is jealous of younger brother. He doesn't like the attention to be given to him. Yeah, but I'll take him in Tuesday to get him fixed. And then I won't mind so much him coming in the house other than little buddy fighting with him, because he won't be able to spray all over everything, because I can't handle that. I can't handle the male cats coming in spraying. It smells crazy. Ooh, it's gross. Yeah, this is the big daddy, and he's pretty heavy too. But he's probably 3, 4 years old now or more. Because like I said, I don't know how old he was when they first came here with him. But I know Lucky was just a kitten. Somebody put him out, and he started hanging up here, and I started feeding him, so I guess he's my cat now. And he's little buddy's brother. But little buddy's got to get over him being jealous of Lucky. Yeah, there's no need in being jealous of Lucky. You're going to try to lay down in spite of everything, aren't you? Gary says meow. I don't know where Lucky is. He went and found him a warm, dry spot somewhere outside. What do you think? Look up there at the camera. Look up there. Look up there. Look up there. Oh no, Jim, another plane crash in Pennsylvania? A small plane? Hello, Pritam. I'm not sure how you pronounce that name. Pritam Sarki. Welcome to our chat. Oh, you're making meatloaf for supper. I haven't had meatloaf in a while. I need to make me a meatloaf. Yeah, Krista, it kind of makes you wonder if you want to get on an airplane to fly anywhere. I mean, it's dangerous driving a car if you go in any distance, but at least you're on the ground. It terrifies me to get on a plane to think that it could crash. I knew this attorney that used to be here in Granbury. He's retired and he moved back home now, but he was from Hawaii. And he represented me in my divorce, or my defense divorce, because, you know, even though my husband is the one that filed for divorce, you got to get somebody to take your legal end of it. And he said that he was flying back to Hawaii that summer. He goes home every summer on vacation because that's where he's originally from. And he said, I don't like to fly, especially that far. But he said, all I do is I get on my plane, I order me a drink, take a drink. And he said, if the plane goes down, all you can do is put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. I cracked up at him. It's been a while since I've been on the plane. The only time I usually would get on the plane is to fly back home to North Carolina. But the last several times I've driven. And that is one heck of a drive, I'll tell you. I watched the last one that Dennis and Brooklyn did of her scrambling eggs. She did scrambled eggs, sliced up a banana and some toast. It looked pretty good. You decide to get back up here? Huh? Did you decide to get back up here? Or at least get up here in the picture where people can see you. As long as he's healthy and being cuddled, he's happy. Yeah, he's happy as long as he's being cuddled. But you make Lucky feel bad. You want to fight him off all the time because you're jealous of him. You don't want him around. I guess y'all can see him. I don't know. Yeah, you can see that big kitty. He's an armful. I don't know how much he weighs. I haven't put him on a scale. I don't think he'd stay on the scale long enough to weigh him anyway. Not here. But he's a pretty hefty kitty. Yep, he's a pretty hefty kitty cat. Your husband filed, weren't you lucky? We couldn't get... Well, I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I guess he valued his safety more than being here. And that's all I'm going to say about that. He gets in my lap all the time. He stopped doing it for just a little while, after he got in that cat fight, and he got his throat slit open. You know how bad it was? It was pretty bad. He got spooked after that. He was kind of weary of getting close to me. He was kind of weary of coming in the house. And when he came in, he was like watching everything like something's coming after him. But he's all over that now. He's back to little buddy. He's back to normal now. He's little buddy all over again. Yeah, he was spooked after he got in that fight that he got his neck ripped open. And I don't blame him. That was a pretty bad gash he got in his neck. Took him a pretty good while to get over it. But I wish he wouldn't try to run Lucky off. Sometimes they're getting along fine. Like one afternoon, I went down the walk here toward my car, and both Lucky and little buddy were up in the swing. I always said that Lucky loved the swing because that was his little bed. Well, now, that day I walked by and I didn't have my camera with me, or I would have got a video of it. But both of them were up in the swing. Lucky was on one side curled up asleep. Little buddy was on the other side curled up asleep. It was the cutest sight. No, I didn't. I took care of him myself. Well, thank you, Uncle BB. And there's Brian F. Hello. Ooh, you're making me hot, little buddy. He puts off some heat, I'll tell you. Isn't this some kind of cat? He'll just hang around. He'll just hang around as long as I'm holding him. He don't care. And there's Cleo Walks. Hello from the UK. How's the weather in the UK right now? Little buddy, you're something else. You're something else. But you know, Lucky likes a little bit of loving too. But you don't want to give Lucky loving. You want to just run him off. You like him? You like little buddy Krishna? Krishna. I looked at that wrong. It's not Christy, it's Krishna. Yeah, he claimed me. Both of these cats adopted me. But Lucky was such a sweet little kitten when he was put out here. I couldn't help but start feeding him and taking care of him. He'd stay right here in my arms the rest of the day if I just sit here and hold him. Yeah, I used to have one called Crybaby. He died many years ago, but he was like almost 15 years old. He got what they called cat leukemia, and there wasn't anything they could do for it. I don't know how cats get cat leukemia, but I guess they get all kind of illnesses just like people do. Well, I've just got 2 around here. That's all I want. I mean, there's a lot of other strays that come up, but I don't want to feed them. I don't want to encourage them to stick around. And there's Thango. Hello. Lost. Yeah, I know, Wilson. You lost yours. You'll have to get you another one. Little buddy, are you comfortable? My arms are giving out. You're heavy. Oh, I have to prop my hand up on the table. Chloe said she's getting a dog this time. What kind of dog do you want, Chloe? If I got a dog, it would have to be a little one, no bigger than a cat. A beagle. I had one that was half Chihuahua and half poodle, toy poodle. Little tiny, it wasn't even big as little buddy. Nowhere as big as him, grown. But he ran off. I went to New York to visit my grandmother with my mom one time. And my ex-husband was supposed to be taking care of the dog. And when I got back, he said the dog ran off. And to this day, I don't believe it. I think he gave it back to his sister. Because his sister was the one I got it from when it was a little puppy. She said it was the runt of the bunch. And it turned out to be the prettiest one of all of them. Beagles are very vocal. Those little Pomeranians are too. And they sound vicious when they're no bigger than your foot. Like you. Well, I can't hold you and pet you at the same time, Lucky, little buddy. You know that? I can't hold you and pet you at the same time. I'd like to know where Lucky ran off to. He's just roaming around, checking things out, I guess. He'll come back when he gets hungry. Little buddy, you're something else. You are. Jim Lay says, why do coins have ridges? That was just the way they were designed. I'm doing great, Henry. How are you? Are you tired of your arm being up like that? Well, that's the only way I can hold you is to prop you up. Oh, you're making me hot. If you get cold in the wintertime, just grab your cat or dog and cuddle with them. They'll get you warm. Little buddies can be something else. If you're going to go to sleep, you're going to have to go find somewhere else to curl up and go to sleep. Because I can't hold you all afternoon while you want to sleep. If I get a beagle, I'm going to name it Birdie. You going to get a male or female? It's still snowing there in Ohio. I don't know. Jennifer Moore says, yeah. And there's some saying, I have heard about typical orange cat behavior, man. Is he unpredictable sometimes? No, not really. He's a sweetheart. Both of my orange cats are sweethearts. You get males generally. Well, both of these cats are males. Little Buddy's already been fixed, but Lucky's, I'm taking him in Tuesday. Taking him in Tuesday morning, he'll get his shot, and he'll get fixed, neutered, or whatever you want to call it. Because I don't need any more cats around here. No, you can't get up on my table. Look, he'd get up and lay down on my table if he could. He loves getting on the patio table outside and curling up and sleeping. But I'm not letting you up on my kitchen table. I'm sorry. No snow today. It's warmer and beginning to melt. Well, that sounds good. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last cool night we're going to have for several weeks, or as far as the extended forecast will show me. It'll be up in the 40s and 50s at night after tonight. You want to go out? You want to go out, little buddy? Oh, let me get up and let you out. If I can straighten my legs out. Yeah, run around outside because it's been looking so gloomy and dark all day until about an hour ago. And now the sun's trying to come out. But they didn't call for rain today. So this rain we got this weekend, and then it's going to warm up tomorrow and from here on in, my seeds ought to start sprouting and popping up out of the ground. I've already got turnips, red beets, yellow beets, and all that stuff came up. I mean, most of it's up about an inch, about like that. And the cold weather's not going to hurt it because you're supposed to plant them, during the cold weather. And I've planted some bell pepper in one of the raised beds. I've got my celery in one of them. And I got parsnips at the other end. I don't know what it is. There may be something wrong with the parsnip seeds that I got, because I planted some out of the same package last year out in my tote, and none of them came up. Not a one of those parsnips came up. And I planted the rest of the package of seed in one end of the raised bed where the celery is. It's not come up. And I'm wondering if it was just bad seed. Trevinsky, hello. Trevinsky. Yeah, I'm a pretty free spirit, I guess, Chloe. Why do you ask? People call me Dr. And it makes me sad. I'm not even going to ask about that statement. Why do they call you that, Trevinsky? Are you just overweight or something and they're making fun of you or what? You got another IR here tomorrow or something? I don't know what that is, Henry. What do you mean by IR? All right, well, sorry I'm asked, Stravinsky. Be nice. And I'm known as the black sheep. Why would you be known as the black sheep, Chloe? Yeah, the sun's popping out every once in a while and looks real bright and sunny. And then the cloud will pass a little bit and it'll start getting gloomy looking again. But it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. And there's Fabulous Family. You're a new subscriber. I've never seen that name in chat before. Yeah, we're supposed to have nice days from here on in. And I don't remember who left the comment to my video where I planted my lima beans, but they told me that I needed to check the third third tier of the tower. That they watched it and then they rewatched it and they said, I don't think you put beans in there. I don't think you planted beans in that one, because I was talking and doing stuff and I probably thought I had already planted the seed in that level and I hadn't. I went out there and checked and I couldn't find a lima bean planted in that third tier. So I went ahead and I put 2 of them in each one, and then I had a bunch more left, so I added another one to each one of the other rows, the other tier. So there's 2 in each hole now. So hopefully at least 1 in the hole will come up. Okay, Henry, we understand that. Okay. You're using talk to text. Well, I understand that. Sometimes it doesn't put the words exactly what you intended. That's okay. When younger, well, hopefully you're not the black sheep now. But I was thinking, I don't know how it's going to work. I was thinking, I'm not sure exactly when they're going to send me those strawberry plants that I was thinking about putting in that last raised bed. I was thinking maybe if I plant corn, that popcorn seed that I got that I didn't want, maybe if I plant the corn and spread them out a good ways, even though the corn stalks might come up, when I get my strawberries, I might be able to plant them in between the corn stalks, because that bed is where I wanted to plant strawberries and get them started, because I'll be able to cover them up in the wintertime so they don't freeze. And I'm hoping that, I'll have strawberries every year after I plant these this year, if I ever get them. I ordered them from Gurney's. They had a nice sale on strawberry plants. I think I'm supposed to get about 25 plants. but they don't ship until spring, and I don't know when they consider spring. You know, I don't know the exact date. I have an allotment plot. Well, I suggest you plant cucumber, squash, peas. You can still plant peas. You know, I just planted my lima beans yesterday or day before. Start out with something easy. Perpetual spinach. I mean, you can't hardly kill that in the wintertime unless you got freezing nights for a week. And it'll come right back in the spring. I mean, if it dies down, you know, it kills the leaves and the plant itself and the roots stay alive, it'll come right back in the spring. I've got several of my perpetual spinach plants that have done that. I seen Stein's had a whole bunch of them on sale. Is that strawberry plants, Henry? Yeah, I don't want to wait too late to get them to plant them. And I'm wondering if they're waiting till their strawberries start putting out runners. And then they're going to take the runners from them, and that's what they're going to send me. Because, you know, even the runners may have roots on them. That's what I told everybody, Ann. They sent me that popcorn seed by mistake. And when I contacted them about it, they said, well, we don't even sell popcorn seed. I said, well, and I didn't order it, but it came, and it shows that my shipment from you came, it was delivered, and it was popcorn seed that was delivered. So I can't get any satisfaction out of them, so I guess I'm going to plant it. I'll just be giving popcorn away. And there's Hyper Grace. Yeah, I'm thinking if I space out the corn enough, even if it comes up, I know how it takes up a lot of space, but still it'll have enough room at the bottom where the stalks are that I can plant strawberries maybe in between them. And then when the corn dies back, I'll just cut the stalk off as low as I can get it. That way it doesn't disturb my strawberries. And that corn will just go to mulch in the, I mean, it'll go to compost in the dirt. I've already got tons of onions planted. I've got onions all over my garden. I've got red onions, yellow onions. I've got several pots of Egyptian walking onions that live all year long. And they produce their own seed. So I'll be getting a bunch of the seed from them when they do their walking and produce their baby bulb seeds. I mean, I started out with about 12 or 15 little tiny seed onions, Egyptian walking onions. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got about 8 big pots of walking onions right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Spring depends on when they decide spring is. Maybe I don't want to wait until they decide to ship them. You know, I want to get them planted to where they can put down good roots and have a good chance to grow in this Texas heat we got coming up this summer. No, I haven't tried fermentation yet, Chloe. I've been thinking about it, but I don't know if I'll care for them or not. I might try and just see how it goes with maybe 1 jar. But I know it's supposed to be good for your stomach. Well, I've got 2 packages of popcorn seed. And if I plant 2 or 3 rows in that oblong raised bed, that should be enough, and I'll still have room at the very bottom to plant my strawberries when they come. And then when the corn's gone, you know, my strawberries will still be there. Well, I've tried growing raspberries and blackberries. Only my raspberry bush survived, and I've had it growing out here for 3 years. It's growing good. but it has not produced raspberries yet. And I don't know what I need to put to my pot that my raspberry bush is not getting for it to produce raspberries. And they say you don't need another raspberry bush or anything for pollination for them. But my blackberry bush, it died. It didn't survive, but my raspberry bush did. And I said, well, I love the red raspberries too, if I could just get it to produce. It puts out a big clump, like of little dots, like little pods, where the flowers will open up. And then they'll just die off, and then I have no raspberries. So I don't know if what I heard is true or not. Yeah, my blackberry bush already had flowers on it. Well, mine is just putting out new leaves. You know, it's basically just like the stems. And this is the kind, if you cut off that stem, you have to wait for a new stem to grow before it does anything. So I've learned I'm not cutting mine off yet again. It'll be a long time before I prune my raspberry bush back. Because some of these raspberries, or like blackberries and raspberries, will only produce berries the second year on that one branch, on that one stem. And if you trim it off that year, it's not going to have any the next year. Oh, that's a shame. You mean you couldn't dig it up and take it with you and put it out where you moved to? Oh, I'm going to plant a ton of jalapenos this year. You better believe that. Because I had tons of hot peppers this year and tons of bell pepper, but I didn't have very many jalapenos. In fact, when I made my cowboy candy, I went and bought about a pound of jalapenos to add to it because I didn't have enough. No, it's weak, very weak. Huh. Well, I've tried 2 or 3 summers to grow strawberries. I've tried them in my green stalk tower. I mean, I bought the plants from Walmart that had strawberries on it. And as soon as the strawberries ripened and it started turning cool weather, the plants died and they never came back. You can't, yeah, that's what happens to me, Henry. I eat the really hot peppers and I get the hiccups. It's like my stomach's protesting against all that heat. I can eat a little bit. I still season my beans and different things with it, but I only put like a spoonful of my cowboy candy in my beans, and that way it's not really hot. It's just a little bit warm, and it gives it a real good taste. Yeah, I can still eat a little bit of them, but I can't eat them like I used to. My son fixed some bacon-wrapped stuffed jalapenos one day when I was over there a couple of years ago. He said, Mom, try them. They're not that hot. You take the seeds out of them and they're not as hot anymore. I said, oh, yes, they are. Don't try to pull that on me. I said, I know you can take every seed in that jalapeno pod out, and that thing is still going to be hot. Well, he said, just take a little one and try it and tell me what you think. I took the smallest one on that pan that I could find. I took one bite of it. The minute I swallowed, I immediately got the hiccups. It was trying to push that pepper back up. I said, I told you, Chad, I can't eat them. They're too hot. My stomach can't handle them anymore. And I said, that little pepper's just as hot as if the seeds had still been in it. And there's Daniel. Hi, Daniel. How many we got in here? 33? Did I have breakfast yet? No, I had a late lunch. I heated up some of my salmon patties. And I had 2 cups of coffee, salmon patties, and a little tiny bowl of my beans. Yeah, I didn't do breakfast this morning. I got up late, and all I wanted was a cup of coffee, so I fixed me a cup of coffee. And then later, I went ahead and warmed up some of the salmon that I fixed yesterday, and I ate that for lunch. I know, and I still haven't posted the video. Maybe in the morning I'll get it posted. Yeah, look like the older we get, the more problems we... Yeah, I mean, your stomach gets sensitive. DRM Lofi. Well, welcome, whoever you are. I've not seen you before. I guess you are new. Welcome to my channel. What part of the country are you from? Roll with Felix. And there's True Holiness Apostle Church. Hot peppers bother me a bit lower in my stomach. Yeah, I can't bite into a jalapeno anymore and swallow it. That whole mouthful of hot. My stomach can't handle it. But I still use them, like I said, as seasoning. And when I make stuffed peppers with bacon, I get the little sweet peppers. You get them in a bag, and they're in orange, yellow, and red. And it makes a real colorful little tray of stuffed peppers with bacon on them. They remind me of something you should fix like at Christmas time, because they're so colorful, and they're not hot. And what I do is I mix a little bit of my cowboy candy in, I chop up the peppers, or either put the cowboy candy relish in it. I'll put maybe a spoonful in a block of cream cheese and mix it up real good, and then stuff the peppers with it. That way I can eat them with the jalapeno. It's not that hot. Used to live off of sunflower seeds and Mountain Dew. Well, that sounds like a good combination, Pete. Oh my goodness, no. I don't want anything to do with those Carolina Reapers. They will set you on fire. Okay, Diana Hinkle, you have a blessed day as well. Glad you could stop by. Yeah, but those little sweet peppers, just stuff them with cream cheese and wrap that bacon around them and do them just like you do the jalapenos. They are really good. And, like I said, I can control the heat when I mix my jalapeno in with the cream cheese. I don't have to fill them completely up with jalapeno. They can be a little warm, but not so hot my stomach goes into spasms. Why don't we have a second drawing? What are we going to draw for? Would have to be more than seeds. Most people want seeds, so that's why I've been doing, the giveaways just about every live, or have tried to do a giveaway on every live on a question about some of my videos. Sounds good, but Rascal said it sounds good, but very hot. Yeah, jalapenos are pretty hot, and those Carolina Reapers are even hotter. And the year that I planted all those peppers and I made the cowboy candy for Christmas that has the different colors in it, the red and the yellow and the green, they were all hot peppers. I had cayenne peppers, Hungarian hot peppers, jalapenos, cayenne peppers. I planted about 6 or 7 different kinds of hot peppers. And I also had a few of the sweet peppers that look like hot peppers kind of mixed up with them. In my country, normal for everyone, Carolina Reaper. In my country, it's available for 100 grams RS 350. I don't know what the 350 is. Well, that's all you ever want, Wilson, is hot pepper seeds, and I've sent you a ton of them. If you plant all those seeds I sent you and start You can start harvesting your own seed from your own peppers. That way you won't need me to send you any more hot pepper seed. Unless it's a different kind. What, the pepper seed rascal? Is that what you're talking about? You said, well, if you make them, I package them, I'll buy some and try them. I've got Cowboy Candy already in jars. It's on Poshmark's site. You can go to Poshmark at Linda Hauser 2 and go to my page, and you can see I've got pepper relish, pepper jelly, pepper jam, cowboy candy. I don't know who Olivia Rodrigo is, Sydney, so I wouldn't know what she sings. Well, you got to have, well, here in Texas, Wilson, I found you've got to have a business license of a shop that where you sell that stuff out of to get in a flea market where they sell stuff like that, produce. I found you just can't go set up in a flea market and start selling stuff. You got to have a license, and they've got to see it before they'll even let you rent a spot to set up. Thank you, Edith. Because my daughter-in-law, Regina, asked me the same thing. Why don't you take some of your produce to the markets and sell them like everybody else? Because you can't do that. All those people, they don't care if they sell at those markets or not. They're there advertising their business. You know, if they sell 1 or 2 jars of cowboy candy, or if they sell a few tomatoes or anything that they take there, they're basically advertising their business because they have business licenses. I don't. I mean, I've got one, but it's in crafts because I used to sell crafts quite a bit. And I went ahead and got a license to do it in case I started making a bunch. I never did make a bunch of money, so, you know, I still have the license, but I found out that won't even work. You've got to have a license, a certificate in food preparation, or not food preparation, in the type of food that you're selling. Like if it's produce grown from your garden, you've got to have that type of a license. And usually it's because you've already got a business that you're selling out of. Yeah, Edith, Dennis is asking you if you will put my link to Poshmark in the chat. I can't do it because I'm not signed in. Somebody was saying that if I had stuff for sale that they would buy it, and I told them they could go to the Poshmark site and still buy. I think there's still some cowboy candy, relish, pepper jelly, pepper jam, and stuff like that for sale on there. I could probably need to add some more. And I never thought about putting up stuff like dried basil or dried spearmint. Yeah, I don't want to open a business to be able to sell at a flea market. So, I mean, it really doesn't cost anything to get a license, but you know, you've got to have the license for the business that's selling produce. And I've just never applied for one of those, so, and I definitely don't want to open a store to do that. Because I checked around. I was going to try to have a little booth set up at the flea market here in Granbury that they have like once a month. And they have one over in Acton, which is real close to me. But I was trying to find out how much it costs to rent a spot and what the requirements were and all that. And it said you do have to have a business license to sell that particular item. Because they regulate that type of thing. Maybe Edith doesn't have the link handy to where she can put it in. I don't know. Well, hello, Wayne John from Jamaica. Is it beautiful weather in Jamaica right now? I guess nobody else knows what the Poshmark link is. Nobody's putting it up there. Nice and sunny outside. It's been a dreary looking day here because we had some rain overnight. But the sun's tried to come out a couple of times, but then, the overcast comes right back. It should be nice tomorrow, though. Edith, do you have the Poshmark link handy? She may not have heard us the first time we asked. If you do, would you mind putting the Poshmark link to my page in the chat? Premium style packaging, product psychology, also color manipulation. Oh, I don't know that I want to do that. I don't want to go into business big time. I just like growing my garden and canning a few things. I don't want to get big, and I'm not ready to open a big store at my age. Sun's trying to come out right now. But them clouds ain't going to let it. Can you count down from 10 for me slowly, please? I have been edging for hours and have finally chosen you as my favorite. Well, thank you, 47. There's the link to my Poshmark site. Anybody that's interested in buying cowboy candy relish, pepper jelly, pepper jam, go to that site and you'll see it. Thank you, Edith. You're a lifesaver, Edith. I know I got a few things still on there that I haven't sold yet. No, I can't do push-ups, much less 20 of them right now, Extreme Thunder. Because I've had neck and back injuries and I've had surgeries. My arms are not strong enough for me to do a push-up. Sorry. And he was a troll, so he's gone. And I know who got rid of him. Dennis did. Hello, my Jesus Christ be with you all. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks, Dennis. BCC 11. That's crazy. Why does somebody want to come in and say crazy crap like that? And I thought I had my settings set for they have to be subscribers. Maybe I didn't. I'm checking the settings to see if I thought I set it for subscribers only. I may not have. I'm checking right now. No, it wasn't set for no subscribers. Somehow everything else got checked but that. Yeah, I didn't. I did I scheduled it in such a hurry that I didn't set a bunch of the settings, and I didn't think to go in before I went live and make sure they were changed. But it's on subscribers only now, so if they come in next time, they'll have to subscribe or they're not going to get in. Let me get back to my chat. Yeah, I've got it on now. Did I have somebody else come in with vulgarity, Edith? Dennis says I need a drink and I was being good today. No, I've never been able to do very many push-ups. I was not into that when I was younger. And then after my back and neck surgeries and injuries, my arms are weak and I can't do a push-up. I can't hold my body weight up like that. Oh, really, Tamara? When she was in grade school, she won Presidential Fitness Award. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. Well, they may have made the guys do it in gym class, but the girls never had to do push-ups. We did other exercises, but we never did push-ups. I mean, I couldn't do a push-up anyway. It's me, Ann says they had to do them every day. Wow. Isn't it something how the different schools and different time era, the schools change? the policies on a lot of stuff. I played sports too. I played basketball. I played softball. And I was even in track, but I never had to do push-ups. In fact, I was on the junior high basketball team that beat the socks off of the high school basketball team one year. They were always picking on us because all of the high school girls were real tall that were on the basketball team. And everybody wants a tall basketball player, right? Well, everybody in my class that was on the team were little short people like me, 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", if you're lucky. We had one girl that was maybe 5'10", one, and that was it in the whole class. And that was on our team. And those the high school basketball team, girls team, teased us every day at school because we couldn't play basketball, because we were so short, and they just hounded us to death. So finally we told our coach, Mr. Nelson, that we wanted him to challenge Doc Simpson, who was the high school coach. We want you to challenge his team to a playoff in the gym in front of the whole school, because they keep teasing us and hounding us because we're short. They keep saying we can't play. It was awful. So he said, sure, let me get with Doc Simpson. We'll set it up. If you girls want to play him, we'll let you play him. And they did. They set it up. The principal agreed with it. He got the whole school. And my school was kindergarten through 12th grade. Now, the kindergarten kids wasn't brought in there, but all the rest of them, the elementary, middle school, junior high, high school, the whole school was in the gym. We beat them 12 to 3 points. They never, ever teased us again. We made a laughing stock out of the high school girl team. You had an easy coach. Well, we did a lot of exercises and warm-ups, but we were never made to do a push-up. Exercise is a 4-letter word. But that did us good. We were little shorty basketball players, and everybody says you can't be a basketball player unless you're tall. But we knew the plays. We knew how to move in and out of these tall girls, that we were taking the ball away from them left and right. They didn't know what was going on. They were tall and lanky, and we were short and fast, and we were weaving in and out of them before they knew we were there. We had the ball, and we'd run to our goal, and we'd make a goal every time. 12-3. Oh my goodness, that did us so good to do that. And the coaches just laughed. He said, man, I can't believe my team did that. He said he knew we were good, but he didn't think we could beat the high school team that much. Yeah, it sure put a stop to it, Wilson. They never teased us after that, because we showed them we knew how to play basketball even though we were short, and we showed them in front of the whole school. And there's Spencer Love. Hello, Spencer. How are you doing today? And back then, we could only play half court. But they had just come out with what they call a roving player for each team. And I was a roving player. And what we called the roving player was the player that could play both sides of the court. The rest of the team had to stay on one side of the court. They couldn't cross the line. And it was quite often that I would intercept the ball. I would jump straight up, grab the ball, come down, and I'm headed to the goal. And I'd go straight to the goal and make a goal. I didn't make it every single time, but about 9 times out of 10 I did. And Mr. Nelson he'd shake his head all the time. watching us practice because he knew we could play ball. We knew a basketball game. We could play. So I guess he figured that the high school team didn't know what they were in for when we challenged them to a showdown to show them we could play ball. And we didn't try to rub it in. We didn't walk up and down the halls gossiping about it or anything like that. But we sure had a smile on our face. We passed any of those girls on that high school team. We had a big old broad smile on our face when we walked by. No, Bradley, hell doesn't have ice water. Man, I couldn't do 100 push-ups, Wilson, if somebody told me there was $1 million to be had if I could just hit 100 push-ups. There is no way. I've been doing a couple a day for a year to get 100. Little buddy scratching at the door. Let me let him in. Oh. Where's Lucky? Huh? Where's Lucky? There's Lucky. Come on. Come on. Come on. Lucky was little buddy was scratching at the door. But here's Lucky. He was out there waiting too. He come running to the door when he saw me. He was out there on the swing seat sleeping. He doesn't know to put his arms up. He says, I don't know what you're trying to do to me. But this is Lucky. This is the younger one. He's only a year old. Yeah, he's only a year old. But say, I'm a fur baby. I'm a spoiled baby. Y'all ready to get you something else to eat? Huh? He wants to be petted too. Yeah, he wants to be petted too. Well, hold your head up. Hold your head up so I'll pet you. It goes down to the floor. You trying to go down to the floor for me to pet you? Huh? You trying to go down to the floor? But yeah, this is Lucky here. Yeah, this is Lucky. He's the one that's got his doctor visit Tuesday. Yeah, he's the one that's got his doctor visit Tuesday. Let me let him down because he wants to go to his food bowl over there. Here. Well, come here. Let me get him a cup of food and I'll put it in their dish. Lucky says, well, Mama, you didn't put me any fresh food in my bowl. Come here. You want some too? Hmm? There you go. That's what they wanted. They wanted a little bit more food put in their dish. Bag or feed? I'm fine. How are you? Yeah, that's right, Tamara. You know, at first he didn't want to be held. He didn't want to be petted. Now he wants to be held. He wants to be petted. Because he'll duck his head down just like little buddy wanting you to pet him. And he's getting spoiled. He'll end up being just as spoiled as little buddy. But he's not quite as big as little buddy yet. And there's Donna Placedia. Hello, how are you doing today? I had to take care of my kitties. They're both over there digging in their bowls. I try not to leave their food bowls outside. You know, if it's got any food in it at all, I'll let them eat. And then if they walk away, I'll bring the bowls in the house. That way it discourages the stray cats from coming up, because they would come up when I'd leave the bowls out and finish eating all the food. And they got used to doing that. Now they'll come at meal times looking for the leftovers. Well, I'm trying not to leave the bowls out anymore. Because 2 cats is enough to feed. I don't want to feed the whole neighborhood cats. Or the stray cats. And some of these stray cats look like they've been fed pretty good. I guess they make their rounds to everybody's house and eat all the leftovers from the other kitties or the whatever scraps is put out. We won state every year, Wilson. Oh, wow, Ann. You were on a pretty good team then. I didn't stay in sports long enough for that many years to end up going to state anything. Now, I've got a niece that got into clogging. She started in dance class, and her whole dance class would go to all these competitions, state competitions, and they did a darn good job. What do you think, Lucky? He's stretching because he's been curled up in the swing seat sleeping. You ready to go back outside now and roam around since it's not raining? You and little buddy? I don't know where little buddy went. To the back door. He goes out the back door. Lucky wants out the front door. You all want to go back out? You want to go back out? Go ahead. The sun is shining. You want to go out? Come on. Little buddy, quit. The minute I let little buddy out the same door that Lucky went out, he started swatting at him. That's why I hollered at him, little buddy. He knows when I holler at him, he better stop. Because he was trying to fight with him, and I'm not going to let him fight with Lucky. Lucky's too sweet. He does not start a fight with little buddy. But little buddy will start one with him. And I've seen that Lucky will do everything he can do. He backs off, and he'll do everything to avoid fighting with him. Leon won for years and years. Wow. Well, you not only had a great coach, you had a great team. And Janice says, I'm working with our mobile nurse practitioner tomorrow, who is my friend and lives in my complex. We're going to a place that has autistic children. Well, that sounds like a neat thing to do, Jana. MacArthur High School never won any state game 50 years ago. Not winning state games. Uncle BB said his mom wanted to be a majorette. It didn't work out. Well, my daughter played in band. She played alto sax. She was on the basketball team. My son played t-ball, then he played baseball a little bit. I think my daughter played softball for a little bit. And then my son joined the football team, and it didn't last long. because he was the what they call it, the quarterback. Is that what they call the one they pass the ball to that has to run down the field with the ball when everybody else is running after him? Well, that's what my son was. And he told me one day, he says, Mom, I get tired of being the bottom of the pile and all these guys are piled on top of me. They don't even know where the ball is anymore. He said, I'm going to end up with a broke leg or broke arm or broke ribs or broke something. He said, I wanted to play ball, but I don't want to be at the bottom of the pile of guys all the time. And he said, I say something to the coach and he tells me just to run faster. And then finally he said, Mom, I don't want to play football anymore. I said, well, you don't have to play. He said, yeah, but Dad will be mad if I don't play football. I said, hey, your dad has the rest of his life to get happy in. If you don't want to play football, you don't play football. You get off the team. It's not going to bother me a bit. And I said, if your dad doesn't like it, you tell him he can go play football. So my son got off the team. As good as he loved the team, he got off the team because he didn't want to end up with a broken leg or arm or worse. That's one thing I would not do. I never forced either one of my kids to play any sports at school. It was all their own idea. If they wanted to play, I stood behind them. I was all for it. But if they didn't want to, I did not force them. They knew they did not have to play. My daughter did not have to be in band, but she wanted to be. My son wanted to be in high school band, but at that time they didn't play guitar. And that was his instrument of choice. He played a lead guitar. And he never got on the team because he didn't want to play any other instrument. And I don't blame him. Today, I think they do have guitar players on the team of some sort. Yeah, you can break your arm in any of the sports. It's easy to do. But chances are, sooner or later, if you end up at the bottom of the pile of kids, after the ball, enough, you're going to end up breaking something. It's bound to happen. I gave each of them a little bit of dry food. That'll keep them happy till supper time. I'm not going to give them their last meal till a little bit later. And then I'll give them some pate. That's like their dessert. They like that. That's a receiver. Why, I never can remember what they are, but he was the one that always catches the ball and he's running down the court with it while the rest of them are after him, So you run like the Dickens. Well, my daughter was Little League cheerleader when she was like she was like 5 years old, I think. She was the Oak Island Dolphin football team's Little League cheerleader. But even the little football players were little guys. They were the young pee-wee team. They were so cute. And the cheerleaders were cute too. I mean, they took all that serious, just like the older kids, That was serious stuff to them. I was never a cheerleader, never wanted to be. But like I said, I did do the track. The only thing I hated about doing track was the long jumps because my legs were so short. But I could still jump pretty far. I'd have to get up enough speed before I did the jump to push me over. And I did play softball. And basketball. But I quit school in high school to get married, and then I didn't go back to school. But I went back later to get my GED. And there's Frida Cassidy. Hello, Frida. I don't think our school ever had choir, but we had basketball, track, foot. They started playing football, but it was not a real team because they didn't play competition games or anything like that. It was really basketball. They hadn't really started football in my school yet because it was a small country school. I mean, they had like one class of each grade level in one school. Small town USA, y'all. I'm right there with you, Tamara, because my legs are short. I couldn't do much at hurdles or the broad jumps, because I was so short. I had to run like the Dickens and build up enough speed behind me that it just made me fly over the hole. Well, good for you, Kevin. I forgot, where are you located, Kevin? What state? I had long legs, didn't help. Well, everybody's not intended to be a jumper. Everybody's not intended to be a basketball player. Everybody's not intended to be football players. Long Island. Yeah, I've been planting and prepping my garden. I've been prepping as I go, planting. Because most of my pots, I started last year, and they're just now broke down to make good soil. So all I have to do is kind of refresh it a little bit and put in compost and stuff and just plant. I pull out the old plant as I put in the seeds. And as I pull out these plants now, they're going in the last raised bed for compost in the bottom of it. 440 was all mine. Short distance was a struggle. Yeah, I don't think I could have done a 440. Burned weeds and got rid of winterized pests. Well, good for you, Kevin. Most of the stuff I got planted in the new part of the garden is all new. It's new soil, new compost, new everything where I planted all those seeds with the raised beds. Now I'm started on this other side of the yard. I haven't started in the middle yet, where I always kept the shade cloth over. I haven't really started planting there yet. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to put where. But I'll get to it. And I'll probably do most of it this coming week. Because this is the 9th. This is my week for planting. And I've got my greenhouse full of seed trays. A lot of them have not even come up yet. And the ones that have are not big enough to transplant. So by the time I get all the pots and totes revamped, refreshed and everything ready to plant in them, maybe those seedlings will be up big enough to transplant them somewhere. Well, they have those competitions too, Jana. They have competitions where you're not actually running, you're just walking real fast. Should get more since you own more beds. Yeah, maybe. But I was given my pepper plants every last minute. If any of the part of that plant is alive, the root's alive, I'm not pulling it up because I know it'll come back. But so far, the ones I've pulled up have been dead, except one. And I was kind of sorry I pulled it up, but it was in the green stalk, and I really didn't want Brussels sprouts or Chinese cabbage growing in that. I wanted it all lima beans this year. So I went ahead and pulled it out, and I threw it in the raised bed over there for compost. You're in a wheelchair now, Ann? Well, I'm sorry. I can't do any of that stuff anymore either with my back and neck injury. I do good to just do my gardening and my housework and my yard work. Sometimes I wonder if I'm going to get that done. Yeah, it comes a time when you just have to put all that behind you, you know? You can't do the same stuff for all your life, really. And I had a jammed spine my whole life. And that started when I was 3 years old. I was injured, and I had weight from my head down, and it jammed my whole spine, which caused problems. But I've lived with it. I've dealt with it. I'm still here. I'm still going. I don't know for how much longer. Garden, raised bed, and a wheelchair. The totes and the 18-gallon, the 5-gallon buckets would be easier for Ann to manage, because you put them up on something so they can drain into another bucket to reuse your compost tea. So they would be up high enough that she could be in a wheelchair and deal with it. If she's, could get out to do that. I don't know. I don't know what her situation is where she lives. That dude, Deontay. Yeah, because they're elevated. You don't have to bend down. You wouldn't even have to bend way down sitting in a wheelchair to deal with. Because, a raised bed is only like 12 inches off the ground. It doesn't have a bottom in it, so it's got to sit on the ground. Unless you get one of those stainless steel water troughs that they feed farm animals in. It's got a bottom to it, and it's got a drain spout. You could plant in that, but still it would not be as high as a bucket or tote if you put it up on something. Well, with my back and neck, one of these days I may end up in a wheelchair, and if I do, I won't be able to live here. I wouldn't be able to go from one room to the other in a wheelchair here. Oh, 4-foot raised beds. Yeah, all of mine are only 12 inches, 1 foot up off the ground. But I know you can get them 2, 3, and 4 foot high. But I'd never be able to fill one of them things up. And I wanted, if possible, for the roots of the plants, if they go down deep enough, to go in the actual ground. That's why my okra grew so good out here last year. Even though it was in the swimming pool, a lot of those roots went through the holes in the bottom of the pool and got into the actual ground, and they started growing like crazy. I never went to prom. I quit school before I was eligible to go to prom. They're on 4x4s. Well, that sounds awesome, Ann. That your husband's going to help you do totes and buckets. And if you do like I do mine in the videos, where you put the drain spout in the bottom to give them a little bit of water reservoir in the bottom of the bucket or the tote, and the excess drains out into a bucket, you can always take that to re-water your plant, because you got all the compost tea, fertilizer, or whatever was in that tote to re-water it with, or water another one. The buckets that I've got my collards in, I don't have elevated, because I didn't have anything to elevate them up on. But I did put spouts on them. So if I can ever get around to getting something to put them up on, and I can add buckets below, they can drain into the buckets. Because we still got the water shortage here, the water rationing. I can only water 1 day a week, so my compost tea that I'm saving in 32-gallon buckets is going to be a lifesaver for my garden. Why did you drop out of school? If you're asking me, I dropped out of school and got married. I got married the first time when I was 15. Which to this day, I don't know if it was the right thing to do or not, but I thought it was at the time. I ended up with my daughter out of my first marriage. And you'll get to go out there and pick some of your fruits of labor, Anne. It's just enjoyable to be to plant seed and watch the plant grow and produce fruit or vegetables. I mean, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It was a lifesaver to me. I was so stressed out from everything. Getting in the garden helped me get over the stress. And there's Brooklyn Marie. Hello, Brooklyn. How's Brooklyn doing? You love it? Yeah, I love gardening. And I'm just hoping that these raised beds are going to do good. If I can keep enough water to them. See, that's kind of the way it was with my dad. His parents owned a big farm. I mean, that was their living. They lived off the farm. And 9 children. He had 9 sisters and brothers, or counting him, it was 9 because one died. They were the farm hands. So they went to school, came home, and did farm work. Did farm work on the weekends. And my dad joined the Navy after high school. I think he kind of wanted to get away from the farm and see a little bit of the world, you know, while he was still. You're drinking some Starbucks. Oh my God, Starbucks coffee is so strong. I love their pumpkin spice coffee, but it is strong. It's way strong coffee. Well, you start working in your garden, Henry, and you think about what you're doing. You think about your plants and how they're going to grow and, you know, where to put them and that kind of thing. And you forget about all the stuff that's bothering you. And pretty soon you don't think about it anymore. Until something like just happened to me, where you get a windstorm for 3 or 4 days and it destroys your greenhouse. And then by the time you get it fixed, you get another windstorm with hail and rain come through. That was about to get me down again. But buying these flower bulbs is helping, because I can't wait to get them in the ground. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I'll get them out in the garden tomorrow. Well, his brother, SL, he joined the Army, and my dad joined the Navy. And they were the only 2 boys out of the whole family that ended up going to the service. I can't remember if Uncle Carl, which is Daddy's brother, was the oldest, or if my dad was the oldest in the family of the boys. But they were the 2 oldest boys. Carl didn't go in the service. He stayed home. But SL, he joined the Army, where my dad joined the Navy. And my granddad, on my mom's side, the one that was from Italy, he joined the Army. He got out of the Army. He went into the academy to be a policeman. And he ended up being a detective for New York City Police. I guess you could say Daddy was in the Navy for about 13 years. He was making it his career. And Mom said they ended up with so many kids he had to stay home. She couldn't do it by herself anymore. So he got out of the Navy and went into house building and construction and stuff like that, which he loves woodwork. It's just that jobs were scarce around the area in Carolina where we were from. Your dad was in the Navy, Ann? We never lived on a base anywhere, though. Because my dad was stationed on the USS North Carolina. That was a battleship out in the ocean. He only got to come home occasionally. So we always had an apartment that we lived in. We didn't live on base. World War II. My dad was too, Ann. During Pearl Harbor and all that era. Yep, he was. USS Noah. No, I don't know where that one is from. Noah. But the USS North Carolina battleship is a museum now. As a kid, I helped with a petition to save the battleship and have it brought into Wilmington. And it's sitting in Wilmington right now in the water or edge of the water. And they turned it into a museum. We're all brats. Yeah. I never considered myself a Navy brat, but I guess you could say I was a Navy brat. My dad was in the Navy. Don't bother me. He taught me a lot of stuff. I don't know if I could handle being on a battleship to live months at a time. I've got too much claustrophobia. It would probably drive me crazy. And then to be on deck of the boat and look out and see nothing but water, that would totally freak me out. I don't mind going out in the boat, but I want to see land close by, I want to know if that boat goes down. There's land close, pretty close anyway. I might not be able to swim that distance, but somebody should be able to get to the boat that goes down before we go down. Better than a submarine. I couldn't handle that at all. Being completely under the water, and I mean way down deep, I would freak totally out. They wouldn't have to shoot a missile at my submarine. I'd probably put a hole in the wall myself trying to get out of it. Janice said, my husband's dad was a vascular surgeon for the military. Wow. That's pretty awesome. I've never been on a cruise ship, and I don't think I want to ever go. Because I don't like being out in the middle of the water when I can't see land anywhere. My mom went on 2 cruises, and they were to Alaska both times, and she loved it. And I've got a brother and his wife that go on cruises every year. They usually go to Cancun, and they love that cruise. And my brother said, well, this one doesn't really go out in the middle of the ocean. It goes along the coastline, around North Carolina and Florida, and then it goes down to Cancun, Mexico. So most of the time you can see somewhat of a land spot close by. Or in the distance you can see something that resembles land. Now that, I don't know. I might be able to handle that, or I may not. I don't know. Yeah, I hear about that kind of stuff all the time, Dennis, where guys even, or like young brides, fall off a cruise ship and they don't find them. Like, how does that happen? Are they actually walking around totally drunk that they can't hold on? I mean, those things have, guardrails. How do they fall off a cruise ship? I guarantee you, if I was up walking around the ship, I'd be holding on to the guardrail. I probably couldn't keep my hands off the guardrail. There's no way I'd be going overboard. Did they find her later, Dennis, or what happened? Yeah, it sounds more like people are being pushed. Because how does someone fall off a cruise ship when you got guardrails everywhere? The ship went through turbulence. Well, now, yeah, that's kind of possible. But even the turbulence, it would have to be catastrophic turbulence to boost you up over the guardrail. Yeah, I'm claustrophobic too. And my mom said those little cabins are not more than a closet. They said you barely got room to get out of your little bed and walk down beside the bed and maybe go to the restroom or go out the door. And that's it. It's like living in a little walk-in closet. But she said it didn't matter to her because they were only in the little cabin to sleep. The rest of the time they were out walking around the cruise ship doing something. She drowned. How old a girl was she? Was she a young kid or an adult? Or do you know? Look at the beautiful water, my dear. Next thing you're over the railing. Henry said, yeah, I worked 30 years in the Gulf of Mexico and I ain't no way I'm getting on another boat. That's what I say, Dennis. As long as I can see land that I can get to, if I need to, I wouldn't mind being on a cruise ship. But out in the middle of the ocean where you can't see anything around you, no, you're not getting me out there. I want to go to Italy. But I can't take a cruise ship to Italy. I'd be dead by the time I got there because I'd freak totally out. And I don't think I could stay on the airplane long enough to fly to Italy. Because, that's where a lot of my ancestors from. That was where my great-grandparents were from. It's where my granddad was from. He was only about a year old when him and his sister came with my great-grandparents to come to the United States. And I've often thought it would be really nice just to visit there, to see where they lived, where they came from. Because I enjoy watching videos that I see a lot of Italy, the different cities in Italy. Uncle BB said if my parents went on a cruise, everybody would jump off. You're terrible. I'll just go to Domino's. Yeah, there you go. I can pretend I'm on a cruise ship. You were on a cruise ship from Turkey to Greece and Italy. Oh, wow. That would be awesome if I could do it. I don't think I could handle being on a cruise ship that long out in the middle of the ocean. I don't think I could. Not with my claustrophobia, but I would love to be able to go to Italy. That's probably the only one place in this whole world I've ever thought about going to. Everybody else gets a kick out of going to Cancun or to Mexico or going to Disney World, Disneyland, places like that. And in my mind, I've always thought about Italy just because that's where a lot of my family came from. And there's one couple that does YouTube videos that are in Italy. That's where they're from. And I love watching their videos. They come out with a new video every Sunday. And I don't think I saw one for today yet. It's Leave Everything and Wonder. The guy in the videos, he was on Dancing with the Stars for a few times. For those competitions. And I didn't realize that I saw him, but I didn't know he was on YouTube as well when I was watching Dancing with the Stars. And then I watched one episode of their videos that came out on Sunday where they showed clips of him dancing and competing in Dancing with the Stars. And I said, oh my God, I saw those shows of Dancing with the Stars with him on it, but I never put him together with this YouTube channel he's got. Yeah, well, you know, I live on a mountain, rock mountain. I got rocks all around me. That's probably as close as I'm going to get to Italy. Because Italy's full of rocks and mountains and water. And I do have water not too far from me. I don't have it as a step out my front door, but, you know, it's close by. So this is probably as close as I'll ever get. Because like I said, nowadays I don't think I'd even want to get on an airplane to fly there. I'd be terrified. There's too many planes coming down. If my parents were on the Titanic, people would take off their life jackets. You are so bad, Uncle BB. I don't know what that statement was all about, Dennis, where you said, and hide the refrigerator, BB. Yeah, my mom said there's one thing she couldn't get over. They fed you 24 hours a day, nonstop. You had food everywhere. You just walk up and get what you wanted. She said that was just total encouragement to gain weight. You got that much food around you, such good food, you got to eat some of it, right? I'd probably gain 20 pounds on a cruise. Mostly stairs, climbing, and hiking. Well, I'm sure they got elevators, and that's probably what my mom and her friend Dorothy did, was take the elevator up and down. I don't think they climbed many stairs. Because her friend Dorothy that she went with, an older lady, her neighbor, she walked with a walking cane, so I know she's not going to be climbing many stairs. Linda, so Dad didn't fight with the refrigerator. Well, I guess it was better that he took it out on the refrigerator and not on Uncle BB's mom. He could have hit her with the chair, you know, that would have been real bad. So I'm glad he hit the refrigerator instead. At least if he had to replace the refrigerator, he's the one that's got to pay for it, right? He didn't hurt your mom. Well, yeah, it was Uncle BB. He said that his dad got in a fight with the refrigerator. He broke the refrigerator. Linda, so his dad didn't fight. Well, he beat it up with the chair, he said. He got mad, I guess, at Uncle BB's mom, and he took the chair and beat up the refrigerator and busted the refrigerator. It was kind of a one-sided fight, but he broke the refrigerator, he said. The preacher and his wife from the church over here, they went to Italy, I think, like the last year or so that I was going to church. And they said it was a beautiful place, but the one reason she didn't like it that much is because there was no air conditioning. Most places in Italy, usually it doesn't get that hot, so they don't have air conditioning. There's no elevators in the cruise ships, Tamara? I would think the cruise ships had elevators to go from one floor to the next. Because that's a lot of walking up and down for older people that go on those cruises if there's no elevators. I know my mom wouldn't have done it. She'd have stayed on one level. because she had a breathing problem with her allergies, and she wouldn't have been up and down stairs. And Dorothy would not either. Talking about Italy, yeah, they're old school there. No elevators. You go up and down stairs in the buildings, and the buildings are real old. Mostly rock homes. But if y'all get a chance on Sunday morning, usually, they have the initials what is it? LEAW. Leave everything in wonder. And it's this, they did they lived in a van. They traveled the world in a van. And then they ended up back in Italy where they're from. And they bought property. And now they brought a olive grove with property, and they're in the process of wanting to build a house on this property with a swimming pool, and then had like bed and breakfast cottages for people to come in and rent overnight, that type of thing. But I find it interesting because they show a lot of different parts of Italy. I can't even remember the names of some of them. Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I find it interesting that they started out before they had kids. They were just a single couple, a couple with no children. They lived in a van and they were traveling the world. And then COVID hit. They decided to come back to Italy. And where their van was, they had to leave it. They couldn't transport it back to where they were going. They left it where it was, and then they were going to go back later and get it and continue on with their travels. Well, they never were able to go back and get it. And then they showed in the videos here a while back that where they did make it back to check out where the van was and actually get it off the man's property that had been housing it for them. And I think they sold it or gave it away or something. But yeah, they're living in a house now, or they bought 100-year-old rock. It's almost like a condominium or duplex or whatever you can call it, where it's one great big rock structure, and then it's got sections with like apartments in it. And this is a 100-year-old house. And it's completely built out of rock and stone and the wood the way they did many years ago. And it shows them renovating it, living in it, and then building, taking care of a house in another town where they lived for a while. They got that up for sale, and they've got to sell that place before they can build their house on their olive grove. But it's kind of an interesting little story. I like watching it. But now they've got, they had one little girl, and now they have another girl, another little girl. So it's a family of 4 now. She just had another girl, I think the end of December. I take online cooking classes from a couple in Sicily, bed and breakfast, pretty fun. Well, that's kind of neat, Tamara. Yeah, I like to watch it the times that she does any cooking. Because she's the one that actually gave me the idea to take that little hand pulverizer thing and put it in your spaghetti sauce when you're making homemade spaghetti sauce. Instead of pouring it in a blender to do it, just stick it down in there and just liquefy it all so it's a smooth sauce. And you don't have chunks of bell pepper and stuff like that in it. I got that idea from her. I never cared about turning it all into a smooth sauce before, because I like the onions, I like the peppers, so I just left them in their pieces, in my sauce, and I'd eat it that way. But I tried it one time the way she did it, and I kind of like that too. But yeah, they're trying to encourage people to buy property in Italy, especially in that little ancient town they live in right now, where it's all rock, and they're up on a hill and the streets are just wide enough to get one car down through them. It's just interesting to watch it, you know, because it is Italy, and I want to know everything I can see about Italy, I guess. And there's Mrs. Meyer, too. Hello. Yeah, but like I said, even if I had the money to go to Italy, I don't know how I'd get there because I ain't going by ship. And I don't think I'm going to get on the airplane for that long. So I don't know how I would get there. I guess I'll have to wait till they come up with the, oh, what do they call them? Hover cars, where you don't really have to get up in the air. You just hover the ground and keep going. Well, see, I can hover the ground and hover the water and keep going. I don't have to touch the water, but I don't think I could even handle that if it was possible, because I'd still be out in the middle of nowhere and see nothing but water for miles and miles, and I couldn't handle that. Lydia Bostonich. I've never heard of her. I've watched several different other cooking shows, but I never really got into any of them a whole lot. I love to watch the Cajun Cook, you know, that guy that did the Cajun stuff. And then I loved, oh, I can't think of her name. I mean, I'm sure you can still find videos of hers on YouTube or anywhere, but I don't think she does videos anymore. She may not even be alive anymore. The lady that drank wine or something all the time she was cooking. Can't think of her name. And I've watched Rachel Ray a little bit. Yeah, 18-hour flight, I don't think I could handle it. My claustrophobia would not let me handle 18 hours on an airplane. Lydia is on PBS. Oh, okay. Yeah, Childs. Childs. I couldn't think of the name. Julia Child. Yep. I love to watch that woman. I'd laugh at her because you never knew what she was going to do next. It was Julia Childs. I remember. Dennis remembered. Oh, I don't know if I could do that to India. It'd be kind of interesting to go, but I have no desire to stay on the airplane that long. Yeah, Julia Childs and Justin Wilson. I just remembered his name, the Cajun Cook. I love watching him. And a lot of people love watching him too. And Jackie Pepin. I don't know if I've ever seen her, Dennis. Tamara. You made friends with the flight attendants and they kept you in wine glass? And you kept your wine glass full. They probably figured you needed it to calm down or you'd never make it. I'd have to drink so much I'd be passed out in the back of the plane. Yeah, but you know, they claim that's the safest place in the airplane to be. If you have any chance of survival at all, is the back of the plane. Behind the wing, anywhere in the back of the plane is safer than up front. And I never could understand why first class, where the people paid so much to be, was up front. And that's the most dangerous place you can be in an airplane. Because if it goes down, it's going down nose first. You're going to be the first one to go. If you do a crash landing, the people in front of the plane are at more risk than the people behind you. I mean, chances are you're all going to die anyway, But if you have any chance at all, I'm told it's the back of the plane. And I remember my mom telling me that one time. I think it was when I was 13, when I flew to New York to spend the summer with my aunt and uncle. First time I'd ever been on an airplane, I was terrified. It made me sicker than a dog. I threw up for 3 days after I got there. But I didn't fly first class. I was behind the first class. But yeah, my mom told me, she said, well, don't ever feel bad about flying in the back of the plane, because the closer you are to the tail, the safer you are. And the more chance you have of surviving a plane crash. Because whenever that plane goes down, it's usually the front of the plane that gets the worst of it. Jacques Pepin was a man, he died. Well, I don't think I've ever seen him. Don't recall the name. Yeah, that it's good to know, Tamara. So, after that, I never minded getting the cheaper seats. I wanted to fly in the back. Or at least somewhere behind that wing. Because, usually they had restrooms in the back of the plane, restrooms in the front. So I'd always want the very back, so I'd be close to that restroom back there if I had to go. And there's Father Gatto. Hello, Father Gatto. How are you doing today? Oh my God. How long did it take you to get to India, Donna? Just one way. Well, good, Father Gatto. I'm glad you're feeling good today. Yeah, I thought I was going to get to go with the church to South Korea one year with the choir, but I didn't go. They picked other people to go, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I heard horror stories when they got back. They said the set over there was mostly built by the Korean people, and they're small people, and they built the set so tiny that most of the people that went from here could barely squeeze through because they were big people. And I said, well, I could have done without that, so I'm glad I didn't go. But that was a long flight, too, from the States to South Korea. How many people we got on? We still got 28, 29 people watching. $28. And we've been on here 2 hours. I just noticed we're back up to 29. Somebody just joined back. Don't know who. Brooklyn Marie, I'm still here. Yeah, it's interesting. I said, I'm happy with watching some of these videos and stuff where they show a lot of the land and cities and area of Italy. But it looks like it's all just rocks and mountains and water, and very similar to where I'm at right now, only I got more dust than I got water. But I guess in the dry season it gets kind of dusty in Italy too. I think they must get a little bit more rainfall than we do here in Texas. Or I'd try to grow me an olive tree. I don't think it survived here. And they've got olive trees on their olive farm that's hundreds of years old. They look like something out of a horror movie, the way they're built and they're bent over and the way they're shaped. But they're that way because they're hundreds of years old. Well, we started out talking a little bit about food when I first went live, but somehow we got on other subjects. Yeah, I'm going to post my salmon patty video tomorrow morning, I think. I think I've got it ready to go. Yeah, did it by a different recipe, which I like the recipe that I did this time, but I love the recipe I did before. So they're both really good versions of salmon patties. But this is a lot simpler. It only takes 4 ingredients. We talk about anything, Dennis. It don't matter. We'll talk about food. We'll talk about traveling. Doesn't matter. I'm just having fun chit-chatting with everybody. Yeah, I got a lot of planting and pulling up of plants this week. Because this is my week to plant. I mean, I got the whole new section over there done, except for that last raised bed. And I don't have it completely full yet. I was going to fill it up yesterday and today, but the weather didn't permit. So I'll have to get at it tomorrow. This time when I sweep the leaves off of my porch and my walkway, as wide as it is, I'm gathering them up and I'm putting them in the wheelbarrow and I'm taking them straight to the raised bed when I do it. I'm not going to take a chance on the wind blowing it right back where I swept it off of again. And I'm going to have to look it up, because, you can plant good things, companions with other things. I don't know how popcorn and strawberries will go together in the same raised bed. I'm going to have to look that up, see what I'm told about it. But, hey, I'm liable to try it anyway, because that's where I want my strawberries to go. And that's the only place I've got right now to plant the corn. So I'm not sure. Do y'all have any suggestions on that? Have y'all ever planted corn or popcorn before? My daddy planted it every year, but it was in a row right in the garden. He'd plant a row of okra, a row of tomatoes, a row of potatoes, a row of popcorn. You planted moonflower seeds, they sprouted and something ate them. Huh. You don't know what it could have been that ate them? I didn't have any problem with mine coming up here. And I figured if anything would eat them, it would be the ants. Yeah, Brooklyn Marie, you plant popcorn just like you do any other corn. I ordered, one of my subscribers told me about greasy beans and how good they were because her mom grew them every year. So I tried to order 2 packages of greasy beans, and I ordered them from 2 different places or 2 different buyers on Etsy. This is what came in the mail. I got 2 packages, 1 package of corn. The other package is popcorn. I know it is because I've seen my dad plant it enough. I know what it looks like. It has smaller, it looks just like the popcorn you buy at the store to pop. It's small kernels. So I didn't get any satisfaction. Ants. Well, next time you'll have to plant the seed and then put out ant poison about the time you think they're going to come up. And don't give the ants time to eat them. Or germinate them in a small pot where you can keep them away from the ants and wait till the plant gets big enough that the ants are not going to bother them. I have not had any problem. As bad as the ants are here, they don't go near my moonflowers. Well, they haven't so far. But yeah, I'm going to plant this popcorn. I want to see if it'll grow. And I said if it gets 110 degrees and the popcorn is on the stalk and it's dried, it's liable to start popping. And it'll be snowing popcorn. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Yeah, I contacted one of the sellers, and he said that's weird because I don't sell popcorn. I said, well, this is corn seed. It's popcorn seed. I got 2 packages in 2 different envelopes because it came from 2 different shippers, but it was both from Esty, and they're both popcorn. And I ordered greasy beans. So I guess I'll have to wait a while on trying greasy beans. That person that recommended me get some needs to dry some of those greasy beans and send them to me, and I'll plant them next time. Yeah, but I think I'll try planting at least 1 package in that raised bed and space them out far enough that I can plant my strawberries in between. Because if you plant them together, they'll pollinate one another when the wind blows. Or you just go out there and shake the stalks, and they'll pollinate one another. You don't have to have 1,000,000 plants for it to grow. And then I'll supply my son or somebody with free popcorn. They'll just have to pop it themselves. But I know good well that's what that is. Jason says, in Wisconsin, a lot of farmers don't start planting until late April, early May. You sure they're not using Monsanto? Monsanto? That's what my farmer friends said, good luck. I don't understand that, Jason. Well, we start planting earlier here because it starts getting too hot in May and June. If you don't start your plants early, they don't put down enough good roots to be able to survive the heat. And my garden, when I planted in the ground, it would grow like crazy. It produced tons of okra, tons of cucumbers, squash, zucchini. Oh, I was gathering it like crazy, and I mean big, pretty pieces. And I'd given it away. I had so much. But as soon as that 100-degree weather hit, it killed everything in the garden. It didn't live past that heat. Silver Queen corn. Well, I'm pretty sure, I'd almost bet money that that is popcorn. I just haven't put it in a pan to see if it would pop, but that's exactly like the popcorn my dad used to grow. And we'd bring it in, shuck it right off the corn, the cob, throw it in the pot with some butter, and pop us popcorn. We had free popcorn right out of the garden. My dad grew it up every year. I looked it up. No corn and strawberries do not go together. Well, I don't want to have to get another raised bed because I want that for my strawberries. But I want to put the corn somewhere, and I can't see myself planting corn in a tote. I mean, it gets too tall and everything. It needs to be on the ground. Looks like Orville Redenbacher. I got to look it up for myself. I know corn and pole beans go good together. They tell you to plant corn with your pole beans because it gives the beans somewhere to climb. They'd rather climb the corn stalk than they would the trestle. I'm looking it up too. I put in there, is it good to plant popcorn with strawberries? Oh my goodness. You know what it tells me? It says, while not a good conventional pairing, you can grow strawberry popcorn. Well, I don't have strawberry popcorn. I've got popcorn and I want to plant strawberries, which is a unique heirloom variety of popcorn that produces ruby red strawberry shaped ears, making them both fun and ornamental crop. I'm not asking you about what I can plant next to popcorn. Bean varieties, well, I know that. Squash is good planted there. Sunflowers, marigolds, basils, cucumbers, tomatoes, potatoes. What else? Or popcorn. Beans, marigolds. Avoid tomatoes and potatoes near popcorn to prevent nutrient competition disease. Ideal plants for popcorn. Beans are fantastic, which I know that. Yeah, see, when you plant corn, even popcorn, it converts the atmosphere. Due to their nitrogen fixing properties, they convert atmospheric I can't even pronounce it. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Nitrogen into usual form, enriching the soil and promoting healthier popcorn growth. Been saving seed and regrowing this heirloom strawberry pop. I'm not growing strawberry popcorn. Let's ask Reddit. While growing popcorn and strawberries together isn't inherently bad, it's not a good common or recommended companion planting pairing, and strawberries might not be the best companion plant for popcorn. Why not? But you know, I don't usually go by the rules, so I'm liable to just go plant my popcorn and strawberries together. There's no inherent reason why you can't grow popcorn and strawberries together, but they don't offer significant mutual benefits, and strawberries might even compete with the popcorn for resources. Why not strawberries? Strawberries are a low-growing plant, while popcorn is a tall plant. Popcorn needs a lot of space and sunlight, and strawberries might compete with it for these resources. Better companion plants for popcorn. Beans, squash, sunflowers, marigolds, basil, cucumbers. Well, I could plant cucumbers with corn out there, I guess. Popcorn needs a lot of sunlight, and strawberries might. And see, one of them said that don't plant tomatoes or potatoes with popcorn. And here it says tomatoes and popcorns are all known to be good companion plants for popcorn. So one says yes and one says no. Wouldn't it be, I just hit the section where it says cross-pollination. Wouldn't it be hysterical if somehow the strawberries cross-pollinated with popcorn? What would you end up with? A strawberry popcorn? Or a popcorn strawberry? I don't think that would happen, though. But they might compete so much with the nutrients in the soil that it's not a good idea. But I'd never heard of strawberry popcorn before. What happens if you plant popcorn kernels? If you plant popcorn kernels, they will germinate and grow into popcorn plants that produce ears of popcorn, just like I've told everybody. You can buy popcorn at the store, bring it home and don't pop it, plant it, and it's going to grow popcorn. It takes about 7 days for popcorn seeds to germinate and emerge from the soil in 10 days. Seeds germinate best when the soil temperature is about 60 degrees. Yeah, popcorn plants can grow about 8 feet tall and produce long green leaves. It takes longer to mature than sweet corn, and most varieties require 90 to 120 days to reach full maturity. But it does need to be fully dried on the ear of corn before you can shuck it off and put it in a pot to pop it. You can't take semi-dried corn. It's got to be completely dried. So you need to leave it on the stalk, the corn stalk, until it's completely dry and the leaves are brittle and they break apart. It says, if possible, wait until the entire stalk is dead and brown before picking the ears of corn. I think, though, you have to soak the kernels before you can plant them. Like put them in water and soak them overnight. Thank God for farmers market. Yeah, I mean, it showed in Esty that both of my packages came that same Saturday. And these were the only things that came in either package was popcorn. And it was supposed to be greasy bean seeds. He said, well, I don't sell popcorn. I said, well, I ordered greasy beans. Where are my greasy bean seeds? Nothing. So I won't order them from them anymore. I'll get them somewhere else. But I've never seen any in any of the stores around. You know, when I've looked at seeds, at the seed stands, I've never seen greasy beans. But you know, there's a lot of plants that don't go together good, but I put them together anyway, and they'd seem to do okay. But I think probably the corn would pull so much water and nutrients out of the soil that the strawberry plants would be deprived. So I don't know. They do have strawberry corn. The popcorn is red instead of it being this color. And they call it strawberry corn. I wonder how it looks when it pops. If the popcorn itself is like pink, or is it just the hull that it's in that's the red color? Because I've never seen the red popcorn. I don't know what I'd call it, Tamara. Strawberry corn, like they call it, or popcorn strawberry. I mean, I've seen a lot of different colors of corn. You know, the Indian corn I mean, it comes in all different colors, but I didn't know there was just one actual red corn. And it's called strawberry corn. Because it's the color of strawberries. Well, y'all, we've been on here for 2 hours. Are y'all getting hungry? I'm getting hungry. I'm about ready to eat some dinner. It's almost 6 o'clock. We've been on for almost 3 hours. They sell cornflakes, which is corn and mixed with strawberries. Yeah, you can mix it with strawberries. All right, y'all. I love having y'all in the chat today. I've enjoyed it. You make my Sunday coming into my chat at 3 o'clock. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. I hope you have a blessed Sunday night. Have a good Monday. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And let me see if I can get to the camera to push the button. There we go.